The story begins with eldritch gods possessing unfathomable and corrupt power. These apex predators stoke the flames of war across the world. Touching these horrors sends humans into a psychotic and endless abyss. Floating islands drift through a place called the Shrine of Reality. He holds a book titled the Eldritch Summoning Bible. Arrived from another world several million years ago, he journeyed across the land to produce many great miracles. He mastered supreme laws and became an omniscient being. Despite his great power, he never understood one thing. He wonders why he is the only one with eternal life. He visits the grave of the first Imperial Holy Knight. The Creator summons transmigrators from Earth to correct the world. A group of young heroes vows to destroy the Eldritch. 60 years later, a lonely cabin sits in the snow. His elderly friend begs to find a path back home. Time passes endlessly as he watches his friends perish. He established a shrine to bury all the dead transmigrators. Holds a golden key and decides enough is enough. He calls upon the Queen of the Infinite Void to appear. Summons guardians and star shifters to his side. A massive purple portal opens in the dark sky. Red tentacles emerge as he continues the ancient ritual. He orders the gatekeeper to unleash the world's secret back door. Summons the unspeakable mother goddess to descend forth. A single drop of blood falls into a red pool. A giant eye gazes at him from the portal. He looks up and states he has only one wish. Pulls out a box with a sparkling diamond ring. He drops to his knee and asks her to marry him. The giant eye widens in shock and turns red. He shouts his proposal again at the top of his lungs. The Eldritch god rages at his mockery and threatens him. He looks her in the eye and says he is serious. She calls him delusional for demanding marriage from a god. She warns him to face the tragedy of his actions. He claims that being a mother goddess makes her a woman. He researched her tentacle department before he was summoned, prepares to share the third and most important reason. He stares at the ground with a lonely expression. Wants her to help him escape his eternal solitude. Spent centuries learning mysteries just to summon her. He is willing to do anything for an eternal wife. The giant eye stares at him in total silence. She asks if he truly meant whatever it takes. The portal begins to crack as she prepares to emerge. A high-heeled shoe steps out of the dark portal. A beautiful woman with long white hair finally appears. She tells him he must love her forever. He takes her hand as she floats down to him. She looks stunned by his immediate and firm agreement. Sinuhe turns away, blushing hard after agreeing to the sudden marriage. She panics internally, regretting her impulsive decision to marry a stranger. Peeking back at him, she remains completely clueless about her next move. She decides to drop the act and be completely straightforward with him. Regaining her composure, she asks if her new husband has any requests. Lindsay wastes no time and boldly asks to have a child. The shock hits her, but motherhood is her absolute specialty. She gets excited and asks if they should start the process now. The graveyard remains silent as they discuss their future family. Sinuhe offers to help him achieve his goal immediately. He is stunned, asking if she plans to do it right here. She summons a blood-red orb, ready to use her divine powers, smiles warmly, and promises to be fast and gentle. Lindsay looks confused as she prepares a magical ritual. He realizes she is talking about literal magical conception. As the mother goddess, she claims power over all future life. She explains her total control over every aspect of existence. She repeats her offer to grant him as many kids as needed. Lindsay sighs, completely exhausted by her weird, magical logic. He clarifies that magical babies are not what he had in mind. Shouts that he wants to make natural, non-stop burning love. Sinuhe freezes in place at the mention of such intense intimacy. Her tentacles go wild as she hides her face in shame. She stammers, asking if he truly understands the weight of his words. The idea of that level of closeness leaves her totally flustered. He doubles down, describing a state of mutual passion and lust. He insists they go all the way together as a real couple. Lindsay screams about wanting descendants through their shared love. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the dark and eerie Brood Palace. Lilith and a skull demon watch the couple through a mirror. Lilith is shocked Sinuhe did something other than corrupting humans. She screams at the mirror, angry that her goddess got hitched. She finds it disgusting that Sinuhe is discussing intimacy with him. The skull demon suggests Sinuhe has a much deeper motive. Lilith refuses to see the man as anything but a pervert. The demon notes that the endless eldritch war is still ongoing. He believes Lin Zhe might be the key to ultimate victory. Lilith doubts the man's power, calling him a worthless loner. They discuss Sinuhe's plan to raise a son as the new creator. Both demons reaffirm their total loyalty to the mother goddess. They envision a future where the couple is happily raising children. Lilith throws a massive tantrum, unable to accept the pairing. She turns away, swearing that she will never approve of him. Lilith vows to test if he is truly worthy of her goddess. Back at the graveyard, Sinuhe blushes while Linze hangs around. She recalls reading about these romantic scenarios in her books. Suddenly, a massive magical portal erupts in the sky above them. She realizes this graveyard is linked directly to her demon home. Panic sets in as she realizes her followers heard everything. She awkwardly cancels the talk and suggests they head back together. She opens a portal while promising to handle the task alone. A tentacle reaches out toward the white-haired boy. Linze shocks her by kissing the sensitive tentacle. The goddess blushes intensely as she feels a strange sensation. He continues fondling it while admitting he'll get lonely without her. Flustered beyond belief, she runs through the portal to escape him. A bright flash marks her departure from the dark realm. Linze stands alone and lets out a long sigh. He notices his heart pains more when near the eldritch. Chains tighten around his heart as a violent warning sign. Looking over the graves, he vows to save all fellow transmigrators. Somewhere else, a document reveals the mother goddess has returned. The eldritch roundtable convenes after 15 centuries of silence. A gloved hand rises to get the attention of the gods. A sudden slam on the table startles the other members. The god of drowning death suggests having an after-party instead. Naya, the Dark Weaver, remains silent during the heated discussion. Lord Saman finds the chaos of the meeting quite amusing. The tiny mummy creature shouts for his comrades to listen up. Ivy the beast god ignores everyone while happily eating fish. The mother goddess enjoys her meal without any care. Servants attend to Sinuhe as she listens to a question. Large plates of luxurious food cover the grand round table. Sinuhe wipes her mouth before addressing the curious assembly. She reveals a shining wedding ring on her finger. Every powerful being in the room freezes in pure shock. Sinuhe officially announces she has married a puny human. Saman realizes this news will change the world order forever. The Gold Emperor asks if they should start a ceremony. The small mummy continues shouting for his friends to focus. Clara asks what her true intentions are for sharing this. Sinuhe declares she is leaving to live with her husband. Naya questions if she truly wants to end their eternal war. At the shrine of reality, the atmosphere is deathly silent. Linze sits alone on the steps of the massive monument. He lights a small flame while lost in his thoughts. Something catches his attention in the stillness of the shrine. A mysterious figure suddenly approaches him from the shadows. A faceless blonde man greets Linze like an old friend. The illusion sits down to join him on the cold stairs. He explains he is just a memory pulled from Lin's mind. Linze calculates he has been dead for millions of years. The spirit jokes about Lin forgetting what his face looks like. A blindfolded woman approaches them and asks if he remembers her. She leans in close while calling him her dear master. Linze recites the exact time of her death without hesitation. Hestia is overjoyed that her master kept her in his heart. Linze drops a bombshell by saying he is leaving forever. His old comrades are stunned by his sudden announcement of marriage. He confirms his bride is actually one of the eldritch gods. He stands before the glowing spirits of his fallen companions. The hero apologizes for being unable to bring them back yet. His bride invites the spirits to witness their upcoming wedding. They stand amidst ancient pillars reaching toward the night sky. He decides to hold the wedding in the kingdom of Phylaxi. The blindfolded saintess is surprised by his choice of location. The king reveals he established that country near a sinister god. The hero remembers that this is where they once died. He vows to kill the fifth god and bring them home. Luxury glows beneath the chandeliers of the mother nest. The Dark Weaver asks if she chose a wedding venue. She wants a place where all the deities can easily attend. The goddess decides to make the journey to Phylaxi herself. They arrive at the towering walls of the Phylaxi kingdom. The couple stands before the massive doors of the treaty church. He plans to use this event to expose the Dark Weaver. She intends to force her rival to hand over her power. A purple-haired nun approaches them in the church courtyard. Maria introduces herself as the officer in charge of love. The two lovers tightly grip each other's hands in public. They claim to be a newly married couple seeking registration. The goddess blushes while confirming their love is real. Maria finds their sudden claim to be quite presumptuous. The officer turns around and begins walking toward the church. She orders the couple to follow her for a formal evaluation. The kingdom takes the sanctity of marriage very seriously. He wonders how she remembers human customs after so long. They pass a giant stone statue dedicated to a holy figure. The couple enters the courtroom to face the marriage jury. A juror asks how much money they have for their future. The hero proudly reveals that he has absolutely no money. His wife cheerfully agrees that she is also completely broke. They claim to own a house that is very spacious. The official asks if the villa is in a luxury district. She describes a quiet home where they can see the stars. The juror imagines a mansion with a clear glass roof. The goddess explains that the view is truly vast and beautiful. She says the wind feels wonderful when it blows through. He watches the breeze flow through her long white hair. He thinks his bride looks too beautiful to look away from. The jury asks what other landmarks are near their home. She mentions the flowers and lush greenery surrounding the property. He adds that there are also many tombstones in the yard. The official is horrified by their open-air cemetery view. She explains the graves hold his most important memories. They pose together and promise to create a happy life. The female juror suspects the girl is being tricked by him. She asks exactly how long the two have known each other. The goddess nervously reveals they met for the first time yesterday. The juror screams that she will never accept this marriage. The investigator points at Linz and names him a prime suspect. Lin stands there completely clueless about why he is being accused. She insists that strong measures are needed to investigate him further. Sister Maria remains skeptical while trying to keep the situation calm. Sanwai chimes in about cultists luring young women into their ranks. She strikes a majestic pose while discussing the evil deity's followers. Her intense gaze makes the room feel much more heavy and serious. The investigators sweat nervously under the pressure of her sudden presence. Sanwai blushes when she realizes she almost blew her own cover. The officials stammer as they try to process her confusing words. She covers her face in embarrassment while the man watches her. Lindsay laughs nervously and tells the crowd not to misunderstand anything. Sanwai prays that her husband can talk them out of this. Everyone in the city is shown trapped by massive red tentacles. Sanwai looks worried while thinking about being reborn from the fruit. Lindsay introduces his wife and prepares to drop a massive lie. A red cross glows over her face as she looks away guiltily. She sits on her throne while the investigators watch in total silence. Lindsay claims she is actually a legendary malevolent deity hunter. The investigators stare at him with blank faces and utter confusion. He starts telling a fake tragic backstory about her childhood. Chibi Sanwai is shown alone and shivering in the freezing snow. Cultists burn down a village and kill everyone she held dear. A massive blood stain marks the site of the horrific cultist attack. Sister Maria is moved to tears by the fake sad story. Sanwai hugs Linz while he continues his dramatic and false performance. She clings to his arm and acts out the part perfectly. Lindsay looks down sadly to make his story even more believable. Sanwai blushes deeply as his hair tickles her during the hug. Her face turns bright red as she panics from the closeness. Lindsay tells her not to be shy while patting her head. Maria weeps into a cloth because she finally understands their pain. The sister prepares to explain the nature of the flame cult. They worship a chaotic king who burns anything in his path. The king allegedly received a divine position from a dark deity. Maria explains that the Flame King has a strange lily obsession. The cultists kidnap young girls to create a supreme lily kingdom. They use flyers to trick girls into resisting the opposite side. The brainwashed girls refuse to let any men come near them. Two victims are shown chained together in a dark stone dungeon. A girl whispers that the flames will make them faithful disciples. A mysterious figure approaches the two girls trapped in the cave. A red-haired girl asks if this was really her final goal. The white-haired girl smiles and says that is not the case. She leans in to whisper a secret plan to her companion. She asks if the other girl will help awaken their master. Once revived, the master will reclaim authority from the dark deity. A hand grips the dark fabric of her cloak with determination. The red-haired girl's reflection is visible in a determined eye. She says they can just steal the power back later anyway. She declares that men don't deserve to stand by her lady. Sanway smiles because she senses the girl's true feelings for her. Back at the church, the investigators finally believe Linz is innocent. Sunniway excitedly asks if they can finally register their marriage now. The investigator shuts them down immediately because they lack requirements. She slams 3 massive books of laws down onto the table. The couple stares in shock at the impossible list of conditions. Sunniway looks at a real estate flyer with wide, curious eyes. A luxury mansion is listed for the price of 30 million. Lindsay screams in horror after seeing the insane price of housing. His eyes bulge as he stares at the astronomical rune cost. He complains that the rate of inflation is absolutely terrifying here. He compares it to his past life where money was worth more. Sunniway notes their current funds could only buy a tiny bathroom. The investigator lectures them on the true weight of a marriage. She shows a pyramid of needs including a stable annual income. Linza and Sunniway gape like fish at the high financial demands. The woman pulls out a pointer and offers some career suggestions. She suggests they use their skills to work as professional adventurers. Ghibli versions of them are shown hunting slimes in the woods. Completing tasks would earn them bounties and official income certificates. The sun sets over the tall towers of the bustling city. The couple walks together through the crowded streets after the meeting. Sanway stops walking and grabs onto Linz's white sleeve. He turns around and asks her what is bothering her now. She asks if getting married is always this much of a headache. She wonders why a simple marriage requires so much wasted money. Sunniway argues that marriage should only be a matter between them. Lindsay looks surprised by her sudden and honest outburst of emotion. She suggests making everyone into their devoted followers instead of paying. Sunniway declares that soon the entire world will bless their love. Lin smiles and gently places his hand on her head. He tells her that he understands exactly how she feels inside. He looks at her ring and says they are already inseparable. They look up at the massive church building as they talk. Lindsay explains why their current situation is so unique and difficult. He reminds her that neither of them actually belongs to this world. Sunway looks into his eyes with a warm and loving expression. She smiles and agrees to do whatever Linz thinks is best. Linz uses a magic circle to erase the investigators' recent memories. They arrive at the entrance of the local Adventurers Association. The president explains that a receptionist was recently abducted by cultists. Sunniway gets angry that the flame cult is causing more trouble. She wants to go and slaughter every single cultist right now. Lindsay stays calm and listens to the old man's advice first. He asks what the alternative process is for joining the guild. The president says the special process depends entirely on their strength.